Bim, guess what? We are live. Okay, 20 minutes later than normal, but that's not bad considering the week I've had. It's been one of them weeks where, rather surprisingly, I moved my shop overnight. So I didn't get to bed till 3 o'clock this morning, and then I wasn't tired. And yeah, so I've been in the news for myself. Not in the news, just in the news. You know, I've been busy doing stuff. So, bit of a truncated one. I don't know why my voice is going. I haven't been screaming and shouting or anything, but I've been lifting a lot of heavy stuff. So, I'm moving all the shelves and everything and all the stock from the shop to the new shop, which is next to Sabres in the Grand Arcade. So it's back 4 shops down, but it's twice the size. It's huge. Anyway, enough about me. Hi Angela, hi JT and Rachel. Hope you're well. Apologies for being late. Like I say, I've had a very busy 28 hours. Very busy 28 hours. Moving a shop, very little sleep, and then going back. Almost on, am I? I don't know. I say am I? I do check quite regularly, but I'll be honest, I've not checked recently because I've been busy sorting stuff out, trying to stay awake. Nearly fell asleep before this. Hiya, Alan as well. Alan's on. Yeah, 3,490. So, shall we do the show? So I wasn't drinking Guinness again, but I think I need the energy after the amount of energy I've expended today and yesterday moving stuff. So, yeah, new shop, new location, still within the Grand Arcade, but the old Mencown shop next to Sabres. If you want to come and have a chat about anything. Anyway, shall we upset some people by saying that I support the Palestinians, although I don't support Hamas, and I think we should stop killing innocent people. But more of that in a bit. So, let's go. I'm going to keep it brief as well. To be fair, I've not even looked at the other news for the last couple of days. So yeah. Oh, Christmas fears over high street slowdown. Yeah, I've wrote about this in the paper. I'm a columnist in the local paper, and I basically said that we are having our Black Friday sales. Although I don't have any sales. I give you the best deals all the time. But we're having the Black Friday sales before Christmas, and then people mourn that they haven't sold anything over Christmas period. Well, they haven't, because you sold it at a loss or at cost price or at a stupid discount. And then when we get to January, February, March, you've got no money left, and then loads of companies go bust. Look at Debenhams, look at Topman and all that kind of thing when they were doing Black Friday sales. It just kills your Christmas, and Christmas is where you make your money. We should have Black Friday after Christmas. Anyway, that's another story for another day. It's not, actually. I just need to get through this quick. Dum dum dum. So, what else has been going on? Right, no, that's rubbish. Suella Braverman will cover quite a lot. If I arrested at pro-Palestinian sitting. Yeah, I'm going to cover that later on as well. So yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, okay. So there's not a lot of breaking news. Mine's breaking news was the breaking news. Silence is down here having a wash. He's very happy. I don't know what's happening on Robin Park beside the Red Robin on the Black Car Park, Lee H. I've not been down there for a while. I've been working 7 days a week, and like I said a minute ago, I've just relocated my shop again. Level 5 now, in 15 years. So yeah, I'm a bit knackered and not quite with it. So if I look to sleep in or fall asleep during this, then just, you know, give me a bell. Hi T, by the way, as well. Hope you're good. Right then, so let's get her going. World News Sunday, because we start the week on a Sunday because that's the way it should be started. Of course, next year I'll be saying we start the week on a Monday because that's the way it should be started. Because that's the way life is, isn't it? Blah, blah, blah. Growing international concern over the hospitals in Gaza. Finally, Cruella de Vil said that some chance at pro-Palestinian pro-Palestinian marchers were racist and sick. And she was at the cenotaph as the Home Secretary, putting a wreath down. And illegal as well, she said. They weren't sick and illegal. And now this is Cruella de Vil, who, well, yeah. She says some stuff that I agree with, and then she has other stuff that's absolutely nonsense. Just try not to pour Guinness on you when you fall asleep. Yeah, thanks, Luke. I'll try not to. Problem is, if I do that, it'll wake me up. And I did spill Guinness over me a couple of weeks ago, didn't I, if you remember rightly. But no, she's right. I don't think there's any problem with people protesting for the innocent people in Palestine, in Gaza, who are being murdered. It's not just Gaza, more of that later. I don't think there's a problem with that, and I don't think anyone should support Hamas. I think anyone who says something about Hamas that's in a positive way should feel the full force of the law, because Hamas is a terrorist organisation. I'm obviously a politician, I'm allowed to say that. Yeah, cool, innit? And I'm a broadcaster, and I still say it. Hamas are murderers. One decent story, an amusing story, unless of course you were there, was a lion going for a walk around a Portuguese village. It got escaped from a zoo, as you do if you're a lion, and decided to go for a walk around the village at middle at night. Can you imagine coming home from a pub, going, blah, 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 and bottled in your hand, and a lion walks past, you'd be like, you know, the old comedies where something stupid happens and there's a drunk on the floor drinking out of a paper bag to hide what they're drinking, and they look at it and they just throw it away because whatever's gone in front. Yeah, that'd be the same thing, wouldn't it, with a lion? But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Cruella was in the news again for a different reason, and this is pressure ramping up to sack Cruella for her Times column due to the fact that she didn't change or amend it as instructed by 10 Downing Street. Now, as a Home Secretary, she's obliged to toe the party line, and she chose not to. And the rumours that there could be a reshuffle coming soon. Meanwhile, and happily, Remembrance Sunday at the Cenotaph passed off peacefully. There were the protests the day before on Saturday, which was on last week's. That was a week it was. But yeah, it went very well. If I'm talking rubbish, by the way, I'll just let you know because I'm incredibly tired. So just bear with us if I start drolling on. Just say wake up on the thing. Oh, hi Dotty lady. Hope you're good. Hope you're well. And that was the end of that there Sunday, which means that the only thing that could happen then would it be turned into Monday. And the news was all about Cruella de Vil. This time, she had been, there we go, there she is. She'd been sacked in a cabinet reshuffle because of what she'd done, basically because she just speaks her mind. Now, some people like that, and a lot of people think she's deliberately got herself sacked so that she can come back, a bit like Rishi did when he resigned, and then come back as Prime Minister, having basically stabbed the Prime Minister of the time in the back. And Cruella's doing exactly the same thing. So we've got Rishi Rich and Cruella de Vil. Meanwhile, talk about The Walking Dead. David Cameron returns in a very shock move. Now, David Cameron, the guy who gave us, when he was Prime Minister, the option of voting for Remain or Leave from the European Union, and we voted overwhelmingly-ish to leave, he's back. Now, it's either genius or it's absolute bonkers madness from Rishi. Now, Rishi said that he's going to be... Rishi was robust that Israel has to take care of civilians at the hospitals and not to just kill people like they have been doing, you know, slaughtering people, basically ethnic cleansing, basically war crimes. Biden warns Israel over the bombing of hospitals as well. But Israel says, you know what, we've got proof that Hamas have been hiding in hospitals and under hospitals. So we wait with Betha Brata to see that. I'll let you know, we ain't seen it yet. Meanwhile, in Iceland, over 1,000 earthquakes in 24 hours due to, well, possibly a massive eruption that's going to go. Hi, Lainey, hope you're good as well. And then meanwhile, on sad news, Sir Bobby Charlton was laid to rest in a private ceremony after a private memorial in a public place, which always confuses me when people do that. But the late great Sir Bobby Moore was laid to rest on Monday. Reminder, I'm incredibly tired, so ignore me if I start talking rubbish. Most people ignore me anyway, but you know what I mean. Tuesday came along, and Cruella's back. Guess who's back? Back again. No, it's David Cameron actually. Cruella's just gone. But no, she leaves a parting shot, which is basically a letter that says Rishi is not competent, has no integrity, and just generally is a bad leader and a bad prime minister. Yet still the best one we've had for quite a while. US support the claims by Israel that Hamas is using hospitals, but say civilians must live, i.e. not be killed. And this is the proof. It's a few guns that have been laid out in a hospital. Now, call me cynical, you know, I mean, I've said before, if the UK or its allies talk about the Ukraine war, which we'll do in a bit, you always take it with a pinch of salt what they're saying, because it's propaganda. If Ukraine says something about it, you take it with a pot of salt. If Russia says something about it, you take it with a truckload of salt. If China join in, you take it with a salt mine. My opinion at the moment on what Israel is saying about these hospitals is it is 2 salt mines, i.e. they're just making this shit up. Basically, how do we know that these haven't been gotten off people who they've killed and they are Hamas guns, and then just taken to the hospital and laid out in the hospital to prove that Hamas are there? Don't get me wrong, I am not supporting Hamas. Hamas need to be destroyed, but Israel does not need to kill civilians to get rid of Hamas. It's just ridiculous, the whole thing. Anyway, more of that very soon, because it goes on and on and on. Meanwhile, Mackey's have sacked 18 staff for sexual misconduct and racism after a TV programme that was on referring to whistleblowing what goes on in the restaurants, and it's unacceptable, especially when it's youngsters and much older people who are giving it the abuse. Chicken pox vaccines for all children. I don't exactly know why. I know in some cases it can be very serious, but in most cases it's not overly serious. And people, I don't know if they still do or not, have chicken pox parties when one child gets chicken pox. They invite all their friends and relatives round, the kids, to have more chicken pox spread, and then you get it out of the system when you're a kid. Because if you get it when you're older, i.e. my age, it could kill you. It does kill a few people, young children, but not many. A man has been charged with manslaughter following the death of the ice hockey player a week or 2 ago. I'm not exactly sure how that works if it's an ice hockey game. I don't think anyone in an ice hockey game would deliberately go out to try and slice someone's neck open with their blades on their shoes, but what do I know? And more earthquakes in Iceland. Eruption is imminent and villages and towns are evacuated. And I'll be honest with you, that looks like something out of a horror movie, like Silent Hill, or something similar, or a horror game like Silent Hill. I told you I'm tired. That's why my voice is a bit weird as well. My voice always goes a bit weird when I'm tired. So, anyway, yeah. Oh, I turned into Boris. we got to Wednesday. Rishi Sunak and the late, not late, but the ex Home Secretary Cruella de Vil lost their appeal against the migrants being sent to Rwanda on a basically technicality, to be fair. But still, I don't see the point of that. You just send them back to France. You don't send them to Rwanda. It's just ridiculous. But he says he will press ahead to send immigrants to Rwanda despite losing the case. Now, I was going to do that. I've no idea. But not to worry, because we've got the equally inept Keir Starmer. God, he's such a wet lettuce, isn't he? So Keir Starmer has 56 MP rebel and 8 shadow cabinet ministers sacked or resigned over his reluctance, and basically saying he doesn't want a ceasefire in Gaza. He's prepared to watch innocent children and families get killed and murdered, because that's the kind of man he is. To be fair, Russia's doing the same thing. But yeah, absolute nonsense. And I have no idea what Israel has got over these governments so that they back Israel when it's obviously ethnic cleansing going on and genocide going on. Yeah, what Hamas did was horrendous, but how Hamas got away with doing it is questionable. It's almost like Israel may have said, allegedly, that we'll sacrifice some of our people so that we can obliterate all the Palestinians in Gaza. But it's not just Gaza. More of that soon. Meanwhile, Israel continue to claim that Al-Shahriya Hospital was a Hamas base. And that's the proof, which to me just looks like a hole caused by a missile sent illegally into a hospital grounds, regardless of who's there. Yeah, it's illegal for Hamas to be there if they are there. I'm not seeing any proof yet, and it's been a week. But it's illegal to bomb civilian places like hospitals, especially when you've told people to go there in the first place for shelter because you're not going to bomb it. They're as bad as each other, absolutely. Starmer is a terrible party leader, yep. If you watch the video, definitely kick him on purpose. Alright, I've not seen the video. He may not have meant to kick him, but he definitely did it on purpose. Right, okay, I've not seen the video, to be fair, but I think manslaughter's a bit strong. Unless there's some history between... We're talking about the ice hockey players. Unless there's some history there. We don't really know. But, yeah. But yeah, that to me just looks like a bomb crater. You know, maybe over a sewer or something. I've still not seen the proof. But if Hamas were there, it's illegal. I've said for the Ukraine war, when it was said that the Russian troops were hiding in nuclear power stations and stuff like that, that's illegal, and there should be a war crime committed by any army that uses a nuclear site to cover themselves from being attacked by the enemy. And it should also be illegal within 2 miles of a nuclear site, for example, and it should also be illegal for any enemy to fire into an area within 2 miles of a nuclear site. Why are hospitals different? Why is the Western governments allowing Israel to murder people willy-nilly in a hospital? Makes no sense. Honestly, you can watch it on YouTube. It was 100% purposely done. Yeah, but not to kill him. That'd be... Well, yeah. I don't know. Good news. Inflation has come down. But who say the hospital is staged? I don't know. Anyway, UK inflation. Some good news. UK inflation has come down to 4.6%. The problem is, food's still going up. Everything's still going up. It's just not going up as quick. What we want is deflation of about 3%. So things are coming down by 3%. But that'll never happen. Whatever the prices are now, except for petrol, electric and gas, will remain at that level or just continue to go higher, but not go higher as quick as what they did, as you can see, over the last 12-18 months. I'll have a look at that. And oh right, okay. I wouldn't look at that because I don't like looking at stuff like that. Ah, who's to say it is at the hospital stage? Yeah, Lee. I mean, that's the other thing as well, that we don't know for definite that this is at the hospital, and the whole thing reeks of I don't know. You know, I said last week, and I think I might have said the week before, and maybe the week before that. My grandson's 5. If he lived to be 105, I'm pretty sure this would still be going on. Maybe not at the level it's going on now, but it will still be going on because oh, I don't know. Israel and Palestine will never ever get on, and all they're doing is they are they are making terrorists of the future, which is the screaming, terrified kids that we see on older videos when they bomb a hospital. Israel are making it worse for themselves. They could literally go into Gaza or anywhere, okay, with guerrilla warfare and all that kind of stuff, and get the Hamas people. They've got the technology. It's the most technologically war advanced country in the world because they've been at war since they began to exist. They've got the shield. This is what I'm on about before about the horrific Hamas terrorist attack. It just seems ridiculous that they got away with it. They actually committed this attack, and it just feels like it was, you know, allowed to happen. I've got no proof of that, obviously, but it just feels that way to me. Or am I being too cynical in my elderly age? Yeah, accident. Yeah, accidental death. Um, right, we're on now on Thursday, and Israel say they have proof that the tunnels under the hospital exist, and take the BBC there. Um, and I'll be honest, when I watched the report, the woman reporter in the picture, she didn't sound convinced either, and she'd been there, and they were trying to prove it. The whole thing is just an absolute joke. Except people are dying, and we're supporting them. It just makes no sense. Meanwhile, Carilla's back. She says the ruling over Rwanda is tinkering with the policies of the government that she's just been sacked from and was slagging off. 9 officers under investigation, Met officers obviously, over the handling of the 4 murders of the homosexual men by, well, someone who may or may not, I couldn't possibly say, looked like a mass murderer. 4 young men killed. The first one was possibly unavoidable, but the other 3 weren't, and it seems that because these men were gay, there were some officers who didn't think or take it seriously enough because they were just gay men. They didn't even link the murders together, although 3 of the victims were found in the same graveyard and 2 of them in the same place, in the same position, but they didn't link them together. But is that because they were gay men? We all know that the Met is homophobic, racist, misogynic and everything else because we've had loads of reports about it. This was before the report came out. Any life, regardless of how they live the life, whatever, is a valued life, and any murder should be treated the same, regardless of gender, sexual orientation, race, religion of the victim and or of the actual murderer themselves. So I hope if these people are found guilty, the full force of the law falls down on them as well. I've just watched the ice hockey video. He does a kung fu kick. Yeah, his buddy up and then just throws a kick at the guy nowhere near the puck. He definitely did it on purpose. But if anything BBC air, it's all for the agenda of what they do. Yeah, but the BBC, Lee, the BBC are supporting the government in saying that, well, they're not supporting the government. They're saying that it's not, Hamas is not a terrorist organisation. Well, they're not saying that. They're saying the government say it is. But what they're saying is that this woman got taken there, and to be proven that she saw it, and I don't believe that there's anything there. I mean, there was a bit where I think it was her, and she went round the back of the scanner thing, MRI scanner, MRI, you know, the big donut thing, and there was like 3 guns just resting on the top of a few bags of laundry or whatever, and you're like, I don't think Hamas would be careless enough to leave the guns just lying around, particularly near a massive giant magnet. Now, I've never been in one of these things, but I know people who've been in one of these things, and you have to take off your metal jewellery and stuff like that. Because if you don't, well, it's going to cause serious injury to yourself and possibly to the machine. So why would Hamas just leave a few guns scattered on top of stuff in plain sight? Yeah, staged, completely staged. And yeah, she went with it, as in, yeah, I don't think I believe this. And I was like, yeah, fair play to you. Another bizarre scene was David Cameron meeting Zelensky in Kyiv, and you're like, he's taking his new job seriously. I mean, you know, is he trying to hide the fact that he's left another kid in oh no, that'd be Boris, wouldn't it? In a restaurant somewhere. And then you've got Friday, which was yesterday, and the UN are now saying it's close to starvation in Gaza, and this is a bit where we get to the children in the West Bank. As I said last week, the Israelis are forcibly evicting families from their homes in the West Bank illegally, and no one's saying anything about it. And children are being killed. This is a 15-year-old who went on the street with his phone, nothing else, and got shot 4 times, including once through the eye. 15-year-old murdered in front of his family. His father went to get the body and said, "You killed my son. I need to, get my son, protect my son," and he got shot and nearly died as well. And we're still supporting Israel. I fail to see at some point where the distinction is between the Israeli army and the Israeli rulers and a certain double-lettered organisation from many years ago. The only difference is we're not using trains, we're using letters being dropped from the sky to tell the people where to go and gather and then get them bombed. What's the difference? It's absolutely awful, and the government is still supporting it. America have still said nothing. Hospitals are being bombed, flats are being bombed, houses are being bombed, children are being shot in the street, unarmed children being shot in the street in the West Bank, and still America says nothing. It's just so annoying that no one's got the balls enough to stand up to Israel. And again, I ask the question, what has Israel got on the Western world? I mean, some people say the money, but I'm not sure. Points deducted for Everton Football Club from the Premier League. They were on 14 points. They're now on 4 points. They've lost 10 points for £105 million loss over 3 years, and apparently that's too much. You cannot lose that kind of money. Now, I don't understand how, if you can keep going and you lose money, that's illegal. I mean, it's just bad management, isn't it? But they are building a new stadium. In those 3 years we've had COVID, lockdowns and all the various other things. And apparently they're not the only club that could be getting sanctioned by the FA. We've also got, well, it's not the FA, it's the independent organisation the FA employed to look into these kind of things. We've also got Chelsea, who are being investigated. We've also got Man City, who have got over 100 investigations going on their financial dealings and all that kind of stuff. I mean, if you're crap at running a business and you're losing money, surely that's your fault. Why would you get punished for it? Oh, well, I don't understand it. Football is not my tang, is it? No, it's not. What are you doing, Silence? Meanwhile, Jeremy Hunt, also known as... Anyway, he says there might be, he kind of hints at, there could be cuts in tax for businesses, manufacturing businesses mainly, but there should be, in my opinion, I know I'm a retailer, but I mean, come on, there should be cuts on business rates for small businesses and a hike on business rates for people like Amazon and stuff like that. Their warehouses, in my opinion, should be treated as retail outlets, so they should pay the same business rates per square foot as a shop should pay for a square foot, because that's what they are. They are giant shops, but they pay call, and it's really, really, really annoying. City and Chelsea need to be done down. 115 charges for City and nothing done yet. Agreed. Did you say Gary? Gary? Jeremy Hunt. Oh yes, yeah. I didn't say anything. I said Jeremy. I'm tired. I've literally had 4 hours sleeping since yesterday morning. Come on, give us a break. I tell you what, my eyes are actually burning. They might even look red on screen. I don't know, but they do feel like they're on fire. But yeah, business rates should be scrapped for all businesses with premises under 10,000 square feet. Business rate should be halved for all businesses up to, say, 50,000 square feet. And then businesses with over 100,000 square feet should have their business rates quadrupled, because they're basically paying nothing. So yeah, the business rates need sorting. But they're not going to do that, because they get too much money from it and they love Amazon. But there's also a possibility that benefits could be cut. Benefits for the jobless, disabled benefits, that kind of thing, in order to save money again, because that's where we're at now. I think that would be even more suicide for the Tories than anything else. But not to worry, because at the moment, Labour Party, who in my opinion are unelectable, are basically destroying themselves by all these arguments they've got going on. So yeah, it's insane. Yeah. Anyway, that brought us to Friday. Have we done Friday? Oh, okay then. That was Friday, by the way. We're now on Saturday. Saturday, spelt wrong. What's going on there? Yeah, Saturday, there you go. Yeah, so from the UN saying close to starvation in Gaza to Jeremy Hunt being a nice person. Not. It brings us back. Right, so the hospital I was talking about, which is, where I've written it down somewhere. Dumpty dumpty dum. Al-Aishia Hospital. People are fleeing it now because they are fearful for their lives. These are people who are severely injured. Some of the people won't survive the journey. Babies won't survive. What is the difference between what's going on and genocide? I asked the question. I don't expect a response. But yeah, it's absolutely sick what is going on. As Israel look for Hamas in the base, and today 50 people have been killed in an airstrike at a school camp. So it's a camp in school grounds. 50 people killed because Israel can do what it wants and no one says a fucking thing. It's so annoying. Hamas, yes, terrorists need to be destroyed, but not at the expense of the Palestinian people. I still say, as far as I'm concerned, that Israel are doing all this on the back of Hamas doing the terrorist attack in order to ethnically cleanse Palestine and remove it and obliterate the Palestinians. So I wouldn't go on a pro-Palestinian march, but I don't. If they're there to support Palestinians being killed like this, then I support them. If they're to support Hamas, then yes, they should have everything thrown at them, the book and everything, because you cannot support people like Hamas, but you have to support innocent people. And I said a few weeks ago, and I'll say it again, if it was England doing this to Scotland, I'd be saying the same thing. Religion's got nothing to do with it. If the SNP had got a terrorist organisation and come over to the UK, the northern part of the UK, and killed many thousands of people, then yeah, we go after them and we destroy them, but we don't do it at the risk and the cost of lives of innocent Scottish people. If religion is irrelevant in this, it's a humanitarian situation, and Israel are just being allowed to run roughshod over everyone. I don't watch the news lately. It's too upsetting. Even local news has been horrible. You're right, Dotty Lady. The good news is that we are getting onto lighter subjects in a bit. Sadly, not at the moment. Um, but yeah, Israel warns people who've moved south. So there's people who've moved from the north of Gaza south past the point where they said they'd be safe. They've still been bombed because they've all been together, so it's easy to kill a few of them at the same time. To move even further south. So basically, they're trying to get rid of everyone out of Gaza so that they can have it for themselves. This, in my opinion, is their true reason for doing this. It's nothing to do with anything else. It's just a land grab at the expense of innocent Palestinian lives. Again, I'm not defending Hamas in any way, shape or form. They're a terrorist organisation. They need to be wiped out, but not at the expense of innocent children, women and men who have nothing to do with this at all. Hamas is such a small amount of people. The amount of people that are being killed for just for existing is it's sickening. And you're right, Dr. Lady, it's just horrendous. It really is. On a lighter note, SpaceX. This gives you an idea of the size of the rockets. So we've got a space shuttle there. Then we've got the Falcon Heavy, which I've never heard of. And then we've got the SRL Black one, which I've never heard of. I think that's actually the current one, isn't it? I think actually Falcon Heavy and the SS Black one are the European and NASA, maybe. But then you've got the Saturn V, which is the one that took man to the moon. Yeah, they believe it, you don't believe it. I personally believe it. And you've also got the Starship, which is the SpaceX one, which, if you remember a few months ago, they did a test one and it basically launched off the pad and then exploded. And they said it was a success because they weren't expecting it to get off the pad because it's so big and so heavy. So they launched another one today. It's took off. It's separated. You see where the fins are on the rocket there. Well, the bottom bit underneath the fins, where the line is, that's separated as it's meant to do, and then it's meant to come down and land lovely, and then they can use it again. Sadly, it had a rapid, unscheduled disassembly, i.e. it blew the up. The actual rocket bit at the top carried on into space for a little bit longer, and then they lost contact with it, and that was because it had a rapid, unscheduled disassembly, which is Elon Musk SpaceX talk for it blew the cup. But it got off the ground and the top bit actually got near enough into space. So yeah, well done. Land grab, yes, I've read they are going to make another canal through Gaza, so it's Suez out of Gaza. It's about transit tariffs. Yeah, I watched the rocket live. Oh, and they did say, didn't they, Alan? We've had a rapid unscheduled disassembly, which is, I think it's such a genius thing. Well, I mean, the woman who says that is definitely a half full woman, half glass full even, as in, you know, your glass is half empty, or is it half full still? You know, she's definitely half full. But it's, yeah, I mean, that, I think I said last year that was a quote of the year, or I might have said it earlier on this year. Rapid, unscheduled disassembly. It's brilliant. And then finally, 5 pro-Palestinian protesters have been arrested at Waterloo railway station. I don't know the ins and outs of it because it's quite breaking news, as you can see there. That's an image from it, and it is going dark, so it's around about 4 or 5 o'clock. So I've not really seen much about what happened other than 5 people were arrested. But there was a law brought in, or there was something brought in, where you're not allowed to protest at a transit hub, particularly railway stations, after situations that developed a few weeks ago, where pro-Palestinian protesters were in airports and things like that. And it just interferes with everyone's travel. If you want to protest, do it on the street like normal people, or do it in Trafalgar Square or something like that, where people protest. You know, it's a recognised protesting area. You still get the news coverage, but you don't interfere with people's travel arrangements and things like that. So yeah, I kind of agree with that in a weird way, arresting them. Again, if they were shouting pro-Hamas things, then absolutely I would arrest them as well, because they are a terrorist organisation. Anyway, that is the week's news. Apart from, of course, we've now got Australia, which is after the USA, and then we've got the finally stuff as well. Now, Australia hasn't got many, and America hasn't got many either, mainly because I've not really looked at any for a while, because, well, I've been busy, you know, relocating my shop overnight. Thanks to Danny for helping me as well. Good help. That's just trickled water down onto my nether regions. It's quite cold as well. I've got clothes on, but it's just gone straight through. A bit cold now. Anyway, no guns. I'm avoiding the guns in America. I haven't got time to go through all the gun crime in America, sadly. Not sadly. No, sadly, yeah, because there's too much gun crime. Yeah, that's all right. Hate and terrorism investigations up exponentially, say state police. Hate crime and terrorism investigations have increased exponentially since Hamas attack on Israel, a high-ranking state police official said, speaking alongside Governor Kathy Hochul. Yeah, basically, they're saying that there's anti-Semitic and anti-Palestine things going on. Well, there will be. And this takes us to the other level of, we allow all people from all countries to come into our country. And as I said a few weeks ago, there's a cricket match on between England and, say, Pakistan, who are completely innocent in all this. You get a lot of first and second generation English Pakistanis supporting Pakistan because it's their heritage. But if we went to war with Pakistan, would we, or any other country where we've got lots of people who are descendant from that country, would they fight with us or would they fight against us within our own country? And that brings you to the question of all these immigrants. We don't know who they are, we don't know where they're from. So if we do something to upset them, will they start doing stuff to, disrupt, at the very least, what's going on in the UK as counter thingamabobby? Oh, I wonder what people were clapping a smiley for. You got hi Dottie and hi Angela. Unprepared hiker rescued from Colorado mountain in snowstorm, wearing only a cotton hoodie. Now, I always recommend that you wear suitable clothing and attire when going out outdoors, particularly if it's early evening, and particularly if it's an area you don't know, and particularly if it's Alderley Edge, and particularly if it's 2019 and you're filming a video, which I did, and I was dressed in a really nice shirt and a t-shirt underneath and some trousers and some trainers, and I may or may not have had a hat on, I don't know. And I went for a walk around Alderley Edge. It went dark and I couldn't find my way out. On the camera it looked great, but in real life it was awful. So yeah, always prepare. I didn't get rescued, I did find my way out. It wasn't as serious as Sherwood Forest, but it wasn't far off. Some fed up migrants already heading home. American dream doesn't exist anymore, they say. Oh, what a shame. Some Venezuelan migrants who trek thousands of miles to the US in search of a better life are so disheartened they say they're already heading back home. Yeah, it's a tragedy, isn't it? The grass is always greener, that's what they say, isn't it? But mind you, the migrants coming over to the UK getting put up in 4-star hotels, I wouldn't mind a bit of that, Food cooked for me, laundry done, fantastic. Families of veterans who died during worst COVID outbreak at the State Veterinarian's home in Queens sue the facility. Families of more than 100 veterans who died at the New York City Veterans Home in Queens in what they describe as one of the worst COVID outbreaks in the state are now suing the state-run facility for negligence. Faculty if you're American. I don't quite know the situation, but it just proves it wasn't just the UK that mishandled things with elderly care homes. America reported ex-Prime Minister David Cameron makes shock return to the UK government as Foreign Secretary. Now, I watched a bit of, newscast on Thursday, and they played a little clip of David Cameron getting out of the car and the reaction of various people. Because no one knew it was coming. He just got out of the car and everyone's like, whoa, what about Cameron? What's he doing here? And then he comes out and he's the Foreign Secretary. But yeah, even got reported in the United States of America. Gaza's largest hospital not functioning amid Israeli assault. The largest hospital in Gaza, which is the one we've been talking about, has ceased to function and fatalities among patients are rising, says the World Health Organization head, as homeless families continue to move to the area, which is not good. Obviously this was early in the week. New Yorkers face skyrocketing costs to switch to electric heat under new green policies. New York residents could face skyrocketing heating bills under the state's new green policies, which may not even have a significant impact on greenhouse gas emissions, a new study warns. So yeah, it's America as well as having the same issue as us. Now I had a dream. Sadly, it wasn't about world peace and human rights. It was about snakes, and it was about a week ago, and I dreamt that I caught a blackhead snake. I mean, I've never even seen a blackhead snake, but anyway, this snake had a massive head, and then a very thin body, and I grabbed it behind its head and held it so it couldn't bite me, and then I threw it in a puddle in a field because I thought the puddle in the field will be cold, and that will slow it down so I can get away from it, and everyone else can get away from it. And then when I got back to where I'd been, which I don't know any of these places I was dreaming about, there was another snake. This was a green one, identical but green. But I got told this one was poisonous, so I didn't try and pick it up. What I did, thankfully, I was drinking Guinness, and I'd finished the glass, so I turned the glass upside down and smacked it over the head. You know what you do with a spider, but just the head bit, and suffocated it. So if you ever want, if you ever have a snake problem, apparently I've learnt myself how to do it in the Matrix style whilst I was asleep. But this freaked me out. If you've seen the video of this, it is a king cobra, and it it literally is coming to attack golf players. Huge cobra invades golf course in terrifying video. It is terrifying. You see the black circle thing, it just basically just jumps over that like it's not there. It's like you're a snake. Look at what it means. Dream means things. It means I'm looking for big snakes with massive heads. Oh no, that's wrong. No. These golfers are worried about getting a hole in one arm. Well, it'd be two holes to be fair. The South African golf course got a whole lot trickier after an angry cobra invaded the green and started wreaking havoc. I've seen it on an Instagram video that went viral. Cape Cobra, not a king cobra. It was yeah. If you get a chance, have a look at it. It's absolutely horrendously scary. Man convicted of Russian journalist murder pardoned for serving in Ukraine. A former Moscow police officer who was convicted for the murder of a journalist nearly 2 decades ago has been pardoned in exchange for fighting in Ukraine. Sergei Kolesnikov was sentenced to 20 years behind bars in 2014 for organising the 2006 shooting death of investigative reporter Anna Polevskaya. He cut his rap short by volunteering for a 6-month contract for the Ukraine war last year, and he's been let go because this is a perfect plan by Russia, isn't it? We haven't got any soldiers left, so what we'll do is we'll get the prisoners, because they like a bit of violence, don't they? We'll get the murderers, the rapists, the paedophiles, and all them kind of nasty people, terrorists, and we'll let them join the army, and then if they live for 6 months, they can come out of the army and they can go back to their families and live a normal life. Yeah, that's gonna work, isn't it? Mad, absolutely mad. And you wonder why why I don't like Russia. You don't actually. No one likes Russia. Nearly as many college students back Hamas as Israel. Now, I don't, but I can see why students would, because you don't necessarily see the full picture. But no, you can't back Hamas. You can back the Palestinians, you can back the innocent people, but you don't back Hamas. Hamas need to be eradicated. Hi Dano. Not been here for a while, so wanted to say hi and hope we're all doing well. We're all doing very well. Meanwhile, a semi-trailer rear-ends a bus carrying students in Ohio, killing 3 and sending 15 people to hospital. When I read that, I thought they'd actually been, to hospital, but no. A charter bus carrying students from high school was rear-ended by a semi-truck on why can I never say Hawaii. On a highway, leaving 3 people dead and 15 injured, according to emergency official. The charter bus was transporting students from the Tuscarawas Valley Local School District on a day trip out. Yeah, that's why when I'm driving, doing my driving videos, a lot of people from America watch them. I always say semi, because that's what they refer to articulated lorries as. And what I don't like being is in the middle of two semis on the motorway, because if the one at the front stops and the one at the back doesn't stop, I'm literally pate. So yeah, I always try and get out of that situation if I find myself in it. Horrifically, for some reason, this bus was rear-ended, and yeah, people lost their lives and many people were taken to hospital, which is absolutely awful. Biden expected to announce a deal with China's Xi Jinping to help slow the flood of fentanyl to the US. I mean, there's more important things to worry about than fentanyl going into the US, but we'll carry on. President Biden is expected to announce a controversial deal with Chinese President Xi Jinping, arriving at slowing the deadly flood of fentanyl across to the United States. Now, what I don't understand is they met at an Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Conference in San Francisco, and they had good chats and all that kind of thing. But what I don't understand is why the President of America is talking to the President of China about illegal drugs, and the President of China said, oh yeah, we won't send as many. I mean, where are these drugs coming from? Who's supplying them? Is it China? Oh yeah, we'll just raise the prices. Yeah, we'll do that. Biden spent a lot on his face. Wow. At least 22 toddlers sickened by lead in 14 states linked to tainted applesauce pouches. Lead. Is it the 1950s? US health officials, oh, it's America, isn't it, are warning doctors to be on the lookout for possible cases of lead poisoning in children after at least 22 toddlers in 14 states were sickened by lead-linked tainted pouches of cinnamon apple puree and apple sauce. I mean, it sounds yummy, doesn't it? No, it doesn't. It sounds horrendous. But yeah, lead. What the hell is going on in the food preparation place where lead is even in the bleeding building? Never mind anything else. Now, this is epic. I'm worrying. I am definitely worrying about my mental state when I watch Piers Morgan and Jeremy Corbyn have an argument. I mean, it was fantastic. If you get a chance, it was on Talk TV this week. Jeremy Corbyn refused to call Hamas terror group a terrorist organisation whilst on the Piers Morgan show. In fact, they ended up shouting at each other. It is fantastic. Talk TV, I tell you what, it's becoming one of my favourite channels at the moment. I mean, I'm on it a few times. I won't be on it this week because I'll be asleep before midnight when it comes on, where I normally ring up. But yeah, I've been on it a few times as a phone-in presenter. But Piers Morgan was giving Jeremy Corbyn some stick, and Jeremy Corbyn was giving equal stick back to Piers Morgan, which I thought was genius. The thing that worried me the most is some of the things that Piers Morgan says. Not all of them. I'm starting to agree with, and I'm like, oh my god. And then Piers Morgan later on this week had a guy on called Owen Jones, and he used to be a Labour activist. I don't know what he does now, and he was an absolute bell. I'll be honest with you. He was dead young and all that, and everything, because he's a homosexual, gay. Everything he bent round to being because he's gay. People are saying things, and it's like, no, it's because you're talking shite that we're saying it. But he was interviewed by Piers, didn't mention being gay once, or at least not the bit I saw, and they had a very heated debate about it. And basically, I ended up agreeing with Owen, and I'm like, what? But what is going on in my head? Why am I agreeing with this person who I literally would turn the TV off if I saw him on the TV? I think he's grown up and matured a bit, as we all do, I suppose. But he was giving Piers Morgan some right stick, because Piers Morgan was saying that what Russia is doing in Ukraine is wrong, killing civilians and all that kind of stuff. But it's all right, the Palestinians being killed by Israel because Hamas did the horrendous terrorist attack in Israel by invading Israel. So Israel is protecting itself, and it's like, no, as I said a couple of weeks ago, last week, protecting yourself is if you're in your bedroom and someone breaks into your bedroom, has broken into your house and comes into your bedroom with a knife or a baseball bat and something, and tries to kill you, and you throw something at them that kills them, that is legitimate protection of yourself and your family. But if that person runs out of the house and you run after them and run 3/4 of a mile down the road and then kill them, well, that's basically murder. And what Israel is doing at the moment, we've not just left the house, we've not just run 3/4 of a mile down the road. We've basically got on a bus or a car, if you're doing a marathon, for example, and we've travelled 50 miles. That's how far Israel has gone with this. And like I said before, I personally think it's ethnic cleansing. You can make your own decision what you think it is, but I think it's ethnic cleansing and genocide. And Owen was going on about this, and I'm like, oh my God, I kind of agree with Owen. Has he been watching my show? Have I turned him into me? Oh dear. He probably watches them. No. Let us so King George III. If you have a knife in your room, have a spoon and a fork. Well, yeah, but if you're in a room, you can protect yourself in your room. People have baseball bats in the room, and that's fine as well. I don't, because I figure out that if I did have a baseball bat in the room, if I got it to hit someone, they'd easily get it off me and beat me to death with my own baseball bat. Fire that killed 3 generations of New York City families sparked by a lithium battery. Lithium battery in a bicycle, electric bike. Absolutely horrendous, but lithium batteries are not safe, and they also, when they catch fire, this is a small battery, this is not a car. You imagine if you have your car in your house, if your garage is in your house, underneath maybe one of the bedrooms or something, and overnight while you're all in bed it catches fire, your house is gone. And it'll be burning for about 4 months as well. 900 people on way to DC Israel rally left stranded by bus drivers staging deliberate and malicious walkouts. Hundreds of Jewish people headed to a pro-Israel rally in DC, and they were left stranded when bus drivers staged a deliberate and malicious walk-off, they've said. A major Jewish organisation said the anti-protest left 3 chartered flights from Detroit and about 900 people in the Dulles airport tarmac for more than 7 hours before being sent back home, causing them to miss the march. Now, I don't agree with pro-Israeli marchers if they are supporting what Israel's doing now. If they are supporting the people who died by the Hamas terrorist attack, then yeah, okay, that's fine. But if they are standing by Israel for the murders of innocent people, then no. We have to all, I think, put an 9-volt battery on our tongue. So imagine the car battery fire. I'm not putting a 9-volt battery on my tongue. Thank you very much. Talking of which, batteries. You know the little lithium batteries that you don't feed babies in America. You have to be told, do not feed your baby these batteries because it will kill them. No, really? I don't know that. That's how Americans talk when they're thick. Yeah, I've got a beep beep for my shutter on my new shop, and it didn't work. So I opened up the remote thing and looked inside, and it had a 2032 battery in it. And I thought, okay, then I'll put another. Obviously, the battery's gone flat, so I bought another. Well, I went to Poundland and bought some 2025 batteries for 4 2025 batteries for £4, assuming they were 2032s, but they weren't. So when I got back, I realised they were 2025s, not 2032. So I'm like, damn. So what I did was I went back to Poundland. I didn't take the batteries with me because it was my fault, and for not looking properly. And I said, have you got the 2032s? No, we don't do them. All right, okay. So I went round looking, and I found some at a shop, and they were one battery was £3.95. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Anyway, I put the battery in, didn't work. So I'm like, oh, for God's sake. So last night I had to, when we were opening up, I had to manually open it. Now you get like a pole with a gizmo inside the pole that spins the thing at the end, the hook that goes into a loop which manually turns it, and it's a heavy door, it's a big door, and I was literally, this is before we moved anything, I was literally knackered by the time I got the door. Enough for me and the guy working with me to actually get through without banging our heads. And anyway, got home at stupid o'clock in the morning, and I thought, just out of curiosity, I wonder if the 2025 batteries would work. So I put the 2025 battery in, press the remote. Obviously I'm at the house, I'm nowhere near the shop. And instantly the little red light comes on saying that it's active, and I'm like, what? So I manually put it up and manually put it down again, absolutely killing myself, when whoever had had this before me had put the wrong battery in, and I thought they'd put the right battery in and it was just flat. So I went for the... Anyway, 2025, and it works. It's a bit rickety and you have to shake it and slap it a bit before it works, like a remote control, but it does work. And yeah, I was very miffed by it. Here we've got an advertisement. That gives me a chance to have a beer. So, everyone's favourite ex-president. Donald Trump seeks mistrial in tainted fraud case, citing judges' overwhelming bias. So, Donald Trump is trying to get a mistrial because when he's abusive to the judge puts him in his place because he's the judge and Trump is the accused. Yeah, good luck with that. But having said that, it's America. So he'd probably get away with it. Tragic hiker Richard Moore's dog lost half her body weight staying with his remains. This is a very sad story. A tragic Colorado hiker, Richard Moore, his loyal Jack Russell Terrier wasted away to half her body weight when she stayed by her owner's remains for over 10 weeks. The loyal pup, Finny, was just 6 pounds when a hunter stumbled across Moore's body in the San Juan Mountains in Delamere. Vane Brighton of Tyre Search and Rescue said Moore 71 and Finny were left alone, and the dog had just kept with its owner. And it's so sad because dogs do that. The cat would have just ate him. I'll be honest with you. Don't get any idea of silence. I know you're in the room. Well, you have to lift your pinky finger when you're doing it. It's Philistine Phil would get really angry if you don't, so it's just built into me now. Because he watches these back, Philistine Phil, and if you don't do it right, he gets really upset. Massachusetts. If you're going down to Massachusetts, it's a tragedy. Massachusetts town approves proposal to fly Palestinian flag. A Massachusetts town approved flying the Palestinian flag for a month, despite heated debates amongst its residents in the wake of Hamas terrorist attack on Israel. Now, why can't we separate Hamas from Palestine? We separated the IRA from Irish civilians. We separated... no, we always separate them. Why are we not doing it here? Oh, it's because Israel are telling us not to, because Israel have got something over the governments. And I'd love to know what it is. It's going to come out one day, and everyone will be like, oh my God, that balding fat old guy, he were right all along. A mother of 6-year-old boy who shot Virginia teacher gets 21 months for using marijuana while holding a gun. You remember the 6-year-old boy who took a loaded handgun into school and shot his teacher? Allegedly deliberately, because he said, I'm going to kill you, or something similar. But the mother of the 6-year-old boy who shot his teacher in Virginia was sentenced for 21 months in prison for using marijuana while owning a firearm, which is illegal under US law. Deja Taylor's son took a handgun to school and shot Abby Zweiner in a first grade classroom in January, seriously wounding the educator. But yeah, if you've got... America, guns, sort your guns out. I know I wasn't going to do gun crime, but this is the aftermath. It's not the actual crime itself. Don't go, oh, you said you weren't doing guns. Oh, you did the gun thing. Oh. No, it's covering it. It's just following up a story from from months ago. Texas hiker 59 drank from puddle and 8 tadpoles to survive 107-degree heat. Right, question. I mean, this is a serious question. 107-degree heat, obviously it's Fahrenheit, it's not Celsius. because water boils at 100 degrees Celsius, so it's Fahrenheit. But so I imagine 170 is quite warm. Why is there a puddle in that heat? And more importantly, where have the tadpoles come from? I think someone's telling Porky Pies. A Texas marketing executive was forced to drink from a puddle and eat tadpoles to survive after he got lost in a state park during sweltering 107-degree temperatures. Jeff Hain, 59, it's a good age that, of Austin, and his 25-year-old daughter, Harper Han, plan to hike a few miles inside Big Bend Ranch State Park in mid-June. However, their plan went south when they both became lost, and Jeff began to experience hallucinations, which is probably where the puddle and the tadpoles come from. I mean, as I was saying earlier on, completely unrelated to this, I got lost in Sherwood Forest, and yeah, I feared for my life, and things got desperate, and I nearly drank my own wee. But thankfully, I found my car about 15 minutes later, so panic was over. But yeah, some people really shouldn't be allowed out. Where are we? There we are. I think where we were then. Taliban seen patrolling streets of Kabul on rollerblades with AR-47s. Talking of which, Taliban getting away with literally murder in Afghanistan as well. The Taliban seem to be taking a move straight out of the Barbie movie. I wouldn't know, I've never watched it, I never will watch it. Video uploaded to YouTube and circulating on social media appears to show AR-47 armed Taliban security forces patrolling the streets on rollerblades. Several could be seen skating between traffic alongside a truck where one terrorist is helming a turret. Other times in the 22-minute long video, the Taliban fighters could be seen skitching. Now, if you've got skitching on the Mega Drive, that's actually a very expensive game. It's not all that expensive, but it's more expensive than Sonic the Hedgehog anyway. Yep, see you, Deno, and your mum. Hope your mum's good as well. Nice to see you. You'll have to come and see the new shop. I've opened up the new shop. The new shop is in between Savers and 3 in the Grand Arcade. It's about 4 shops down, so it's less. You don't have to travel as far to get to it. Well, you don't. I don't want sniggering for you. You don't have to get this. It's nearer by 4 shops and a corridor. Discrimination charge filed against Michigan hair salon that told trans clients to seek services at a local pet groomer. Now that is going too far. A Michigan hair salon is facing a discrimination charge over a social media post earlier this year that declared transgender customers were not welcome and instead should seek services at a local pet groomer. In the charge filed on Wednesday, the State Department of Civil Rights claimed a July Facebook post made by Traverse City Studio 8 Hair Lab owner. Basically, I don't know. It's one of them, isn't it? You're allowed to have your opinion, and if you as a business owner, you are allowed, in my opinion, you are allowed to serve or not serve, or whatever. I appreciate it, Deno, and forget the try bit and the try and. I will always support your shop, dude. We'll forget the try and support, but yeah, I'll see you soon, all being well. Don't forget, 7 days a week, yay! So anyway, if she chooses that she doesn't want to do the hair of trans people, then in my opinion that is her right. If she doesn't want to do that. But to say they should go and seek services at local pet groomer, that's taking it way too far. So yeah, I think that she probably should lose the civil suit on that one, because yeah, that's just horrendous by any stretch of the imagination. Biden and China's Xi shake hands to kick off San Francisco summit. President Biden and Chinese President Xi Jinping shook hands on Wednesday to kick off a bilateral meeting between the leaders of the world's 2 largest economies, with talks expected to cover China's exports of fentanyl, trade and regional disputes. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see what came of that. But we don't have to wait long, don't worry. And the answer is nothing. Ultramarathon runner banned for a year after using a car in race, which is why I did the car reference earlier on. I hope you were paying attention. It's not just thrown together, this. I mean, there's no script or anything. I just make it up as I go along, but I do try and tie it all in. And I knew this was coming up. A leading ultramarathon runner who used a car during a 50-mile race then accepted a trophy for third place. She didn't even win. She come third, and she used a car, and she come third. How can she be a leading ultramarathon runner if she comes third using a car? It just... Anyway, she's been banned from competing for 12 months by UK Athletics. Joycia Zelensky admitted using a car during the 2023 GB Ultras Manchester to Liverpool race in April, but claims she only did so after telling Marshall she was injured and no longer competing. So okay, then you're injured, someone picks you up and gives you a lift to the finish line. You don't then go over the finish line and then take the third place trophy. You just don't do it. So yeah, I think she should have been banned for life for that. But she still only come third. I mean, how embarrassing is that? You come third. You come third. Third. It's not even second. It's third. You come third. Sorry. Pepsi Cola sued by New York after alleging plastic waste polluted the environment. New York State sued Pepsi Cola, accusing the beverage and snack food giant of polluting the environment and endangering public health through single-use plastic bottles, caps and wrappers. The lawsuit filed in state court in upstate Erie County is among the first by a state to target a major plastics producer. To be fair, if there's no facility for recycling plastic bottles, then surely that's the state's fault and not Pepsi Cola. Not that I'm defending them, but yeah, I don't understand how that's going. Crying in quotation marks, so even they don't believe it. Virgin Mary statue with tears flowing down her cheeks stuns churchgoers. It was the true miracle or just religious sob story. Churchgoers in Mexico claim to have witnessed a miracle after spotting a statue of the Virgin Mary that appeared to have real tears rolling down her cheeks. Accompanying footage showed the statue, named the Virgin of Dolores, encased in glass with water droplets seeming to emerge from the statue's eye and running down her face. Now, I can easily solve this. If you ever watched Shameless, was it Shameless? Was it Shameless? Or was it something else? Might be something else. I thought it was Shameless, but I now I'm doubting myself. It might have been Only Fools and Horses, which I never watched because I hate it. So my daughter gets me a birthday card for the Only Fools and Horses on it. Yeah, you know me, don't you? It's a thought that counts. There was none. But it's the glue around the eyes. It melts when it's hot. It's in a glass case. It's in Mexico. So it's not a tear, it's glue. Case solved. Let's move on. Because don't forget, religion doesn't really exist. Fewer than 1/3 of Americans think Biden is still competent. Fewer than 1/3. I mean, seriously, that many think he is competent? Unbelievable. A killer teen sobs and gets a bloody nose as sentenced to life for beating Spanish teacher to death over bad grade. Now, I did do this at the time, the story. One of two Iowa teens who battered their Spanish teacher to death over a bad grade were sentenced to life in prison. With blood pouring out of his nose in court, he tearfully apologised to her family. Jeremy Goodale, 18, was sentenced to life with the possibility of parole in 25 years for his role in killing Noheba Graber, 66, with a baseball bat on November the 2nd, 2021. It's when he was 16. Yeah, I think he should have only got a nosebleed by someone showing him what it felt like to be hit in the face with a baseball bat. Not killing him, because he needs to suffer. But certainly, yeah, sadly it was just the stress that caused the nosebleed. Pilot 21 asked Florida Air Traffic Control to tell his parents he loved them before he died in a crash. Horrendous. You know you're going to die. You're 21 years old. A 21-year-old pilot was heard begging for help navigating the skies in poor visibility in Florida, then asking air traffic control to tell his parents that he loved them moments before he crashed and died. I don't think I can hold my altitude without descending. The young man flying the single-engine Cherokee Piper 180, which he bought just 2 weeks earlier, said over the radio, "Tell my mum and dad I love them." I mean, horrible, horrible thing. Biden backs Israel raid of Al-Shaif hospital, says Hamas committed war crimes with underground headquarters. Right, what underground headquarters? But America, the problem you've got now is America have to support Israel because of what America did with the weapons of mass destruction when they annihilated innocent lives in the Middle East with Bush and Biden. Not Bush and Biden, sorry. Bush and Blair. Both of whom should be in prison for war crimes, in my opinion. So American cannot take the high horse and say, well, you can't do that unless you've got positive proof. And even then you can't do that. You just go in the tunnel and kill the people in the tunnel. You don't destroy the hospital. You kill the people in the tunnel because they're Hamas. They need to die. Yes, fine, fair, do it. But you can't do that because they didn't do that. Remember the shock and awe? When after 9/11, when there was a video over the river of, I can't remember what city it was, and there were literally explosions all over the place. I mean, they were not targeted at all. And some people have said, well, in World War II, the United Kingdom, the Allies, killed many thousands of civilians in the Blitz of Germany, as did the Germans in the Blitz of the England and Europe and all that kind of thing. And you're like, yeah, but the technology they had back then was a lot less. And one reason why you can't bomb civilians now is because they realised that that is not a way to have a war. So it's an invalid argument. But to back Israel raiding the Al-Shaif hospital, I mean, you're basically backing genocide. But you can't not do, because the guy's a moron. Biden again calls Xi a dictator after Chinese president warns against turning back on Beijing. So they had this meeting, obviously didn't go very well. It's a shame, isn't it? President Biden called Chinese President Xi Jinping a dictator after meeting with Xi about 4 hours near San Francisco after Xi warned Biden that the US is turning its back on China and that is not an option. Yeah, I mean, they're as mad as each other, aren't they? Let's be honest. As mad as a box of frogs. Someone said that about me. I can't remember who it was now. Biden repeats the same word, just minutes apart, raising fresh concerns about age and fitness for office. Wow, really? Who knew? Sorry. It's a running gag that's not very funny. And that is the American news. And then we go over to my second most popular viewership country, which is Australia, mate. Yes, you're a bad man. You upset me a lot. You say things that I don't like. So what's going on in Australia? Well, thankfully not a lot this week because, I'll be honest, I was so tired. So first thing, should supermarkets ditch self-service checkouts? Now I wrote about this in the paper this week because Booths, which I described as being a posh supermarket, but not as posh as Waitrose, but posher than Sainsbury's, are removing a lot of their self-service checkouts so that the customers can have more human interaction. No, it's not. It's because you realise people are scamming you left, right and centre by literally scanning an item that weighs the same as something else but costs like a quarter of the price and then putting the expensive item in the basket rather than the item that you've actually scanned. There have been calls for major Aussie grocery stores to stop using self-service checkouts in a bid to improve customer experience and prevent stealing in the current cost of living crisis. It comes as an English supermarket chain Booths made the move to remove all self-service tills after finding the machine slow, unreliable and impersonable. No, what it is it's cheaper to have someone sat on a till and pay them £10-15 an hour. Even just carry bags alone, they can sell enough carry bags to pay their wage in an hour. But never mind the theft of various items done through that. And have you ever done it where it says place item in bag or unexpected item in bag in area, and they just come along and go beep and let it carry on? And like, well, I ain't got to check that I haven't got like, a pack of razor blades in there that's worth 50 quid. They don't do it, and they never question anyone who nicks a carry bag, and that really annoys me. Theft is theft. It doesn't matter whether it's a carry bag or a £20 box of razor blades or a steak or a shoulder of lamb or a 50-inch TV. Theft is theft. And carrier bags, the reason you pay for carrier bags is so that you don't want to pay for carrier bags, so you take the carrier bags and you've already bought. I would literally just take people who steal carrier bags, I'd take them outside and shoot them. I know, that's hypocritical, but that's where I am. VBRL, hello, welcome. Hope you're good. Removing the self-service checkouts will put a lot of those that pop in during lunch. Put off a lot of those that pop in during lunch. My local Booths is horrendous, waiting for Doris to put a weekly shop through. Booth have ditched all of their self-service scans and they're all accepting cash now. Oh, I don't know about the cash bit. I'm not sure about that. Although I agree that we should have cash, but as long as you have a cash machine nearby, that's all right. Officers are concerned about this pig. Apparently it's overweight. A Florida woman says she is heartbroken after her beloved 180 kilogram pet pig called Pork Chop was confiscated by police over welfare concerns for the animal. No shit, Sherlock. It might be slightly overweight. Most dangerous streets for magpie attacks. This is a thing in Australia for some reason. The top 10 most dangerous Aussie streets for magpie attacks this year have been revealed, because obviously it's spring in Australia, or early summer, and they are all the birds of nesting and all that kind of stuff. So, but it doesn't really happen over here. You never hear about it happening over here. Maybe the magpies over here are just chilled. It comes as more than 3,000 attacks have been reported this swooping season. They even call it a swooping season. It's that bad over there. A 12-year-old arrested after fatal stabbing. A 12-year-old girl has been arrested after a woman was fatally stabbed at the property in Melbourne's inner suburbs overnight. The young girl was taken to hospital and remains under police guard. Horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. In a house. Naked volunteers wanted for a cheeky photo shoot. Are you and your mates free this Saturday? Which has gone already, so it's too late. Controversial photographer Spencer Tunick is in a town to snap naked volunteers at several spots along the river as part of this year's Melt Festival. It's a prequel to a much bigger installation planned for October 24, when Tunick will close the Story Bridge with thousands to pose nude on the landmark. Now, the problem is they always pose nude with their back to you, so it seems a bit pointless really. You might as well not be nude. If you're going to be nude, at least do it the front bit. I mean, we don't want to see it necessarily, but, you know, yeah, you can see someone's bum. Whoa, that's funny, isn't it? McDonald loses legal beef with Hungry Jacks. They're not loving it. They're not loving it. McDonald's has lost a 3-year trademark fight against fast food rival Hungry Jacks, I assume it's Australian, over the sale of Big Jack and Mega Jack burgers. Now, unless McDonald's have traded the word big, I don't understand what they're talking about. The federal court has today dismissed allegations made against Hungry Jack's, saying that the brand was infringing on the Big Mac trademark. So Big Jack, Big Mac. You're in a different restaurant. Yeah, that should not have. I'm glad it didn't go through, because that's just stupid. You cannot trademark the word big, or Mac for that matter. And they're not calling it a Big Mac. Anyway, amazingly, I'm still awake, and we're coming up now to the final bit, which is the bit where I go, or or ooh. Things that make you think, things that make you go, ah. So this is, well, I'll let you see if you can figure out why I've chosen this picture. Let's move up a little bit, there you go. Move a bit more, there you go. That's right. A cat has got some food and he's not letting his mate have any of it. That's mine, you stay there, brother. It just shows you how, I was going to say human cats are, but they're not. But how we've picked up on their things as well, because we do the same thing. Kate Middleton plays subtle nod to the late Queen Elizabeth at Remembrance Sunday. Kate Middleton caught the attention of royalists from the country today when she got spotted sporting a pair of the late Queen's earrings at the cenotaph for Remembrance Sunday. Which is nice. It's nice. Is Putin alive or dead? Putin could go to nuclear war with NATO over Sweden, predicts Russian colonel. Well, they're all mad as a box of frogs, as someone once said. Kremlin officials, military leaders and media propagandists have warned that Vladimir Putin, who's dead, could use nuclear weapons in his war against the West as Sweden attempts to join NATO. Yep, he could, but he's dead. Or is he? Inside secret woodland palace where Putin's dead body lies in freezer. If the rumours are to be believed, Vladimir Putin passed away last month and his frozen body is being stored as a luxurious mansion getaway in Valdai National Park. Is he dead? Is he alive? It's the same paper that's reporting he's dead and alive. Kate is amazing, I agree with you, Angela. Face of Loch Ness Monster imagined by a computer 90 years after the first ever photo. Loch Ness Monster has finally been clearly pictured, but rather than being spotted in real life, the image comes from artificial intelligence's understanding of what the beast looks like. It's called a monster, so that's what it's made it look like. It's AI. Now remember, I've been going on and banging on about all these sightings of Bigfoot, which seems to have come back again from nowhere, and how, you know, we live in, and Nessie for that matter, and we live in, you know, like 2023, so if you take a picture of something these days, it's usually with a camera that's got about 15 billion pixels, yet the picture still comes out like it was done on a, I don't know, a box brownie camera. Well, we've got an image of Bigfoot, and you'll be pleased to hear it's very clear and proves positive that Bigfoot does exist. If you can't have a holiday when you're dead, when can you? Very good, VBRL. Bigfoot found in Fordyce, and there you go. It's okay, it's slightly blurry, but it's a decent picture of Bigfoot, so we now know that Bigfoot exists. What's this? Well, you have a look at it and you can decide yourself. It looks like a lamprey. What's a lamprey? I don't know what a lamprey is. If you see this bin floating, you have been inside for too long. It's just a wet spot on the pavement. But it does look like the bin's floating. I believe there's something out there that's in relation to Bigfoot. Yeah, I don't think that was it though, I'll be honest. A Banksy. I always like to have at least one Banksy, and I like that one. It's basically a seagull going for some massive seagull going for some massive chips, which is actually bits of wood and stuff like that. It is very good. It's not an oldie. It's not a new. It's an oldie. If you don't know what this is, you're not allowed to complain about Netflix loading for 3 seconds. Yeah, if you remember dial-up back in the day. So annoying. But we couldn't do anything else. We had to do dial-up. And we didn't know it was going to get better. We thought that was it forever. Brain at 3 AM. I can see you're trying to sleep, so I'd like to offer you a selection of every memory, unresolved issue, or things you should have said or done today, as well as in the past 40 years. That's a bit like what my head was long. Like an eel with big mouth and no eyes. Ah, thank you, Lenny. Now, as you know, I'm a big Formula One fan, so this struck a chord with me, and I'll let you guess which line I would take walking along this footpath, assuming there's no one else around. That's right, I straight line it. I would literally go woof, straight down the middle. I'm always straight lining stuff. I'm always trying to hit the apex of the corner. But what gets me is the Grosjean one, where it comes around the corner and then just goes into the curve at the edge. If you remember, Grosjean was the driver who went through the barrier and the car burst into flames and everyone thought he was dead, and then he gets out of his car and climbs over the fence in a rather famous image. But yeah, that amuses me. But if you're an F1 fan, you'll get it. Hi T. If you're not, you won't. But it is funny. Bloke sending his own DNA to the moon so aliens can clone him. I don't think it really works like that, but an alien-obsessed bloke has hatched a rather unusual plan to send his live DNA to the moon in the hopes it will be found by an extraterrestrial species and cloned. Oh, ad. Okay, sorry. So yeah, a bloke is sending his DNA to the moon so aliens can clone him. It doesn't say what DNA it is. Could be anything. But yeah, but it's live DNA. Ew. 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 I present you the worst case scenario. See, the worst case scenario. You get it? Because it's sausages, and sausages in Germany are rust, and it's in the case, so it's the worst case scenario. No? Okay then, I'll get my coat. Back in the room. Right, there's another one that caught my eye. I might have to scroll this one as well. I told my son, "You will marry the girl I choose." He said no. I told him she's Bill Gates' daughter. He said okay. I called Bill Gates and said, "I want your daughter to marry my son." Bill Gates said no. I told Bill Gates, "My son is the CEO of World Bank." Bill Gates said okay. I called the president of World Bank and asked him to make my son the CEO. He said no. I told him my son is Bill Gates' son-in-law. He said okay. This is how politics work. How much did it cost for the rocket? He could have sent it by airmail. Your dream box of food. It is at the moment. I'm obsessed with sausages. But yeah, that's how it works. Basically, it's just manipulate people to get what you want. True story. World's poshest McDonald's has special menu with lobster rolls in dining room. Now, if that's the poshest McDonald's, I mean, I think they may have the wrong picture because that doesn't look anything like a McDonald's, posh or otherwise. A McDonald's has over 40,000 restaurants dotted around the world, and while some aren't in the most glamorous locations imaginable, there are a handful that are a lot posher. Yeah, there's some KFCs that are quite nice as well in old pubs and things like that. But yeah, doesn't know. Multiple witnesses report Bigfoot built like the Rock in broad daylight. A broad daylight sighting of a supposed Bigfoot has left researchers and enthusiasts in raptures about the claim. I think we're also going to have Angela in that as well, or is it Lainey? I don't know. Which has come from a mother and her son while they were out looking for grouse. So they said they see the Rock on his camping holiday at Centre Parks. I mean, come on. Parents fume at sick after-school sating club, but no goats will be sacrificed. Parents have slammed a satanic after-school club set to launch at a primary school next month as demonic and sickening, but organisers insist they are not sacrificing babies or their children, so it's alright. I mean, I don't quite understand why you would have a satanic after-school club at a primary school, but yeah, why not? There's more horrific things that get shown to primary school kids these days. Gonna start calling you Sweep. Okay. Putin's double had 2-hour telling off after handler called him an idiot. The body double of Russian President Vladimir Putin has recovered from a life-threatening bout of coronavirus, but still appears to be a little bit of an idiot. A little bit of an idiot. The real Putin's a massive idiot, or maybe dead, we don't know. UK weather maps show 3-day snow deluge coming with 2 centimetres falling per hour. Snow is expected to fall across 3 consecutive days later this month, with advanced weather maps showing that Brits at both ends of the country could see wintry conditions. So get your snow boots out, kiddie winkies, and get your snowballs ready. Well, you can't do yet. Oh, eating sausages all the time. Okay, yeah. Cheeky. Having said that, I've got some vegan sausages in the fridge. I'm not doing tonight though. I'm too tired to do a review, so I'll do it tomorrow. So what I'll do is I'll have egg and chips tonight for me tea, and then I'll do the review tomorrow. I've still got a review to put up that I've filmed. They're like Carry On movies. Look, here we go. Are you ready for this? Cadbury's Adverts eyebrows girl is unrecognisable 14 years on. No fucking shit, Sherlock. A child is unrecognisable 14 years on. Wow. You do. I mean, that's newsworthy in itself. The UK are in for a big shock as Georgina Wake, the little girl from the dancing eyebrow Cadbury advert from 2009, dropped a major bombshell about the truth of the defining cultural moment of the 2000s, which she did on a TV show I watched weeks ago, which basically is they couldn't do that. They basically had things tied to the lips and someone behind them pulling it through their hair so that they would do it. They just had to relax and then it would just do it with the person behind pulling. I mean, I think we figured that out at the time. The shocker is that she looks totally different than what she did then 14 years later. I mean, tell you what, these journalists, they earn the money, don't they? Scientists fear Factor X virus is about to be unleashed and wipe humanity out. That wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing for the planet, I don't think, but anyway. Scientists fear that viruses from extinct diseases such as smallpox and anthrax, and also the accelerated spread of diseases already known to exist in today's Arctic, could be released from the frost. Yeah, so we've got this, the ice melting, the ice melting. I told you I was tired. We've got the ice melting at the polar caps, and they don't freeze up as much in the winter, and they defrost more in the summer. And they're saying that there's going to be viruses that are in there that can survive the frozen temperatures for millennia. That we are no longer, we've no experience from it. So if it does get released, then it could kill and wipe out humanity very quickly indeed. And you're like, right, okay. Yet scientists are still drilling. I told you I'm tired. Scientists are still drilling cores out of ice from like a mile deep in the permafrost of the Arctic, and then analysing it. I mean, come on, if the ice is melting slowly, why the hell are you drilling a mile deep in ice and God knows what you're dragging out of it? It's like when they say, well, life came from meteorites and comets and things like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to a meteorite or a comet and we're going to hit it and bring back samples from it, and who knows, we might find a virus in life. Yeah, you might find the virus that wipes out the entire life on Earth. It's just stupid. Scientists should not be allowed out. Probably. Have I got news for you? Having seen how David Cameron's return has livened up the Conservatives, Sir Keir Starmer welcomes his surprise new appointment to the shadow cabinet. Yeah, right. It's never going to happen. But that picture reminds you that Keir Starmer and Jeremy Corbyn were very good buddies once upon a time. Aldi threatens Great British Bake Off with legal action amid Caterpillar Cape challenge. Now, I'm sorry, but Aldi, if it was Marks and Spencer's, who if I vaguely remember, tried taking Aldi to to cope with legal action because they brought out a caterpillar. Why are Aldi trying to do the same to the Great British Bake Off, which is not a manufacturer? Two clowns together. Yes, Alan, definitely. New speed cameras. We've got these in Wigan now. Two-way ultra speed cameras don't flash and could catch Brits for two reasons. The new double-cameraed Vector SR speed cameras can capture drivers speeding on both sides of the road and has laser sensors to spot when drivers are going through red lights as well. I nearly got took out by a guy. I assume it was a guy. He was in a taxi. No, it wasn't. It was a very sure Kia estate that nearly took the front of my car off going through a red light when I was leaving work earlier. Okay, that's slightly over making it dramatic. It wasn't. It was. He went through very late, and I'd already set off. So, but it was. Yeah, it was. Yeah. Putin's double has major issues with poorly made cheekbones and swollen eyes. Russian President Vladimir Putin's body double was given extensive plastic surgery to make him look like Vlad, but now appears as if some parts of his fake face are failing badly. I wonder if they went to the same one that Michael Jackson went to, because that started failing badly as well. Oh, in a Kia, I know. I was surprised as well. Oh, this is romantic. Who says romance is dead? Two rats filmed going to war over a piece of pizza on live New York subway track. Two rodents were filmed battling out for more than 30 seconds in front of shocked commuters in the New York City subway by Valentina Giacomo. I mean, the horror that they must have witnessed with these two rats fighting, battling for 30 seconds. Oh, it's sweet though, isn't it? There's two rats there, by the way. You can just see over the word war, you can just see the dark bit, and then directly above that you can see its ear of the rat on the other side. But one imagines the pizza's going to slip in the middle after 30 seconds. But 30 seconds, God, that went on forever. I bet they had about 4 commercial breaks as well, because it's America. Putin's daughter hits out at Russia's laws implemented during dad's leadership. Maria Vladislavova called on her tyrannical father's rubber-stamped policies relating to healthcare cruel after she was appointed to the board of the Moscow Society of Medical Genetics. So she'll be falling out of a hotel window at some point in the near future, unexpectedly, or blowing her head off with a pistol by shooting herself 3 times in the head. Because that's what happens to people who question them, even if they're relatives, it doesn't matter. A huge 16-metre whale on UK beach is potential biohazard after mystery death. A woman on holiday in Newquay, Cornwall, was out on a morning walk with her daughter when she spotted a dead fin whale had washed up on Fistral Beach. I did see it. Now, there's a famous video of a whale washing up on a beach in the UK. I don't know where it was. It was in the 1970s, 1980s. And they couldn't move it because it was too big, and they couldn't get any vehicles on there to move it because it was too big and the sand was too soft to get the vehicles on, and they didn't want it rotting there. So what they thought they'd do is blow it up. So the news crew's there, and they're there to, you know, like when they blow the cooling towers down at power stations, that kind of thing. News crew's there and everything, and they blow it up, and it literally, all it does is just spread bits of whale all over the beach, the surrounding area, and the news crew, because they were too near, because they used too much TNT. It's very funny. Exploding whale mishap. Olivia Pratt Corbell killer, Thomas Cashman sees sentencing appeal rejected. What a shame not. Thomas Cashman, now 35, was previously found guilty of murdering schoolgirl Olivia Pratt Corbell after he shot a bullet through the front door of a Dovecot family home last August. He then decided that a sentence of 35 years for killing an innocent child with an illegal weapon in someone else's house, chasing a drug dealer, being a drug dealer, 35 years was too much for that unfortunate coincidence. So he decided to appeal against it. What I would do is I would make it a full life sentence, and he can never ever get out. Ever. because that's what it should be. The poor child and the family can never experience the child growing up, never experience weddings, babies, tantrums, all that, because he took it away. Okay, he didn't deliberately shoot the child, but he shot a gun into a house through a door. So no sympathy. Putin sending ammo-less children to slaughter in Ukraine, claims a Russian. A Russian troop faced with the wrath of Putin as he bemoans that 18-year-old children are being sent to slaughter without proper training or supplies, as he fears winter will be worse. Now the problem is, Putin, or his double, or whoever's pulling the strings behind both of them, have run out of proper soldiers. So they're literally sending kids out of college, because they've run out of prisoners as well now. So they're sending kids out of college to go and fight in the war, but they've got no money for weapons. So they're just being sent out there to be shot. I mean, you know, it's a foolproof policy. More scary news. Britain face -6 degrees centigrade, deep freeze, with snow hitting cities in the south, Midlands and the north. Forecasters expecting the snow and freezing conditions to strike in the UK later this month, with weather maps showing almost every part of the country will be impacted by the wintry blast. Now, there's nothing I enjoy more than a newspaper cover when we've had snow over the whole country of a satellite image of the whole country just being white. I'm being sarcastic there. Now, give David Cameron a peerage and make him Foreign Secretary. So basically, this is Ant and Dec, who are UK television personalities, famous for doing I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here and Saturday Night Takeaway. We're also famous for having some very big pop hits in the 1980s, including Let's Get Ready, Ready, Let's Get Ready, Ready, Let's Get Ready, Rumble, Watch Us Make the Mic, Watch Us Make the Mic, Watch Us Wreck the Mic, Psych, and all that kind of shit. They have on their show Saturday Night Takeaway, they have a bit where they have a celebrity who has an earpiece in, and they just tell the celebrity what to do, and the celebrity does it, and it usually baffles whatever member of the public is in the vicinity, be it someone visiting the house for an interview for a job, or maybe a photo opportunity or something like that, a competition winner, and they just get them to take the mickey. So they've oh, are you off, Dottie? Good night, Dottie. Have a good sleep. Take care. So yeah, so what they're saying is that Rishi's got one of these things in his ears, and they've said, now give David Cameron a peerage and then make him Foreign Secretary, which is exactly what maybe that's what's actually happened. Maybe it's not a parody. Maybe that is the truth. Oh my God. Nearly done as well. Only 5 more to go. This is genius. I'll wait for someone to actually tell me what it is. I asked for my coffee dark, but over to you. So I don't even watch movies, and I got this. And I certainly don't watch horror movies. To be fair, I can't remember the name of it because I don't watch it. That's why I'm waiting for you to tell me. It's where the girl comes out of the telly. Like The Grudge. No, the latest Grudge. But anyway, I think that's brilliant. And I don't care whether it was done. That's great. I couldn't drink that. It's too good to drink. It is genius. It is brilliant. A lot of time and effort's gone into that. It'd probably be cold, to be fair. But, yeah, I do like it. Is it The Grudge? Oh, The Ring. Is it The Ring? Poltergeist. It's not Poltergeist. No, it's the. I think it's The Ring. Oh, let's have a look. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Dum de dum de dum. Dum de dum de dum. No, wrong one. Wrong one. Go away. Dum de dum de dum de dum. The Ring. Yeah, it's the ring. Images. Oh, hang on, I've got an email. Okay, fair enough. Thank you, Richard Smith. Just got a 5-star review for my shop, and I've just oh there we go. Ring. There you go. That's the image we're after. Nightmare on Coffee Street. Right, I don't think you'll be able to see this enough because I don't think it'll focus, but that is the ring, which comes out of the telly. So yeah, I asked for my coffee dark, but I mean that is genius. Like I say, I dare say it's been done just for the sake of the photograph in a house somewhere. But either way, time and effort, that's well done. I don't know if they mentioned it or not, but I'm a massive fan of Formula One. I know. I'm not so sure about the Las Vegas Grand Prix, I'll be honest with you. I mean, they might as well be in anywhere. It's very, very little Las Vegas-y because it's just a track with loads of lights around it on some streets, which are very narrow and slippy because it's cold. Why didn't they go when it was summer, when it was a bit warmer, or autumn? Why did they go in winter? Stupid people. Anyway, flags that you should know the meaning of. So, if you watch Formula One, they go over the radio and they say "send it," which means basically overtake the guy in front. Just go for it. Do whatever you can to overtake it. So it means go faster. So send it means go faster. So a yellow flag means someone's come off the track. So it says there someone sent it too hard. A white flag means that this is the last lap. So it's your last chance to send it. So it's your last chance to overtake. The black flag means you've been very naughty and you've been excluded from the race. You have to come into the pits and out of the way. So you sent it too hard, and now the stewards are mad. And then a red flag means that something very dangerous has happened, or something's happened that's marshals need to get to, or someone injured, or it's blocking the road or something. So they put it. Someone has sent it so hard that the race has to stop. A yellow, a blue flag. It should be solid blue flag. It's basically the flag that you get shown when you're going to get lapped by the leaders of the race. So Max Verstappen at the moment, if he's leading the race and he's coming around to lap because you've been in the pits a few times for various problems, you get a blue flag. So someone else is sending it harder than you, which basically means look in your mirrors, get out of the way. And the checkered flag means the race is over, so don't send it anymore. I say, you kept that quiet. You only get that if you're a Formula One fan. Now, zip wires. I've never seen the attraction of zip wires, nor have I ever seen the attraction of Harry Potter, and I've never seen the attraction of Quidditch. However, put them together, and you get a zip wire when you're on a broom with a cape. I don't know where it is, but I think it's brilliant. There's a video of that guy. I mean, that's just a still from the video. I caught it really well, to be fair, because it's done on a drone, so it's not the best ever. But yeah, basically you send off, you go through these woods and everything, and you're on a broomstick. Obviously you're suspended from above. You're on this broomstick like you're playing Quidditch or something similar. But obviously you're not, because Quidditch doesn't really, and you can't really fly on a broomstick. This woman here is a Christmas tree decorator, and she's already booked up. And she's made $1.5 grand so far. Good on you. I mean, literally, this is newsworthy. I must have made it to my news. Bat Potter. Nestle fans petition to bring back iconic chocolate bar, and it hits. Nestle fans petition to bring back iconic chocolate bar hits 29,000 signatures. Basically, if you see that your chocolate bar or your food, like say, I don't know, Heinz salad cream, isn't selling as well as it did 50 years ago, you tell people you're not going to make it anymore. Everyone shits a brick. You can't get rid of that. It was my favourite when I was little. Oh no! You create this whole public furore and your sales go through the roof, and then you're like, oh, actually then, yeah, no, we'll keep it going. And that's exactly what Nestle have done with Caramac. I mean, I wouldn't eat Caramac if you paid me $1 million. Well, I would actually. I put up with the discomfort and the sitting on the toilet for an hour. It takes more to bribe me as well than, I don't know if you watched the video of Philistine Phil, but he, $5. Guy's got no morals, I tell you. Stick by your guns, I always say. Anyway, yeah, so Nestle have been told by fans of Caramac, of which there aren't many, that they must keep the Caramac flavour chocolate bar, and otherwise, well, nothing really. So sales of Caramac have gone through the roof. They've probably gone up about 1,000%. And probably kids who are like, what's Caramac? I've never seen a Caramac before. But they're like 95p. They used to be like 5p at one point. And finally, just to end on a cheery note, you know I like to, Germany is being plunged into terrible fire of war, warns a Putin mouthpiece who can't speak English. To be fair, he's Russian. World War III fears continue as Vladimir Putin's mouthpiece, Vladimir Slovodyov, warns of military action beyond Ukraine just a week after warning Russia will eventually conquer Germany. So he seems like a wise man. No, he's not. Don't say that. He's not a wise man. He's not. So there you go then. I'm going to be doing a thing in the future called Opinion, where I do a monologue of something. I was going to do it this week, but I'll be honest, I'm too tired. And I've managed to do 1 hour and 56 minutes, despite the fact I was falling asleep earlier on. So I think I've done quite well. Anyway, see when there's more breaking news is broken while I've been doing this breaking news thing. Soccer, Wales Euro 2024 qualification hopes are hit with a draw in Armenia. Tim Woodward has died. I don't know who Tim Woodward was, but anyone who dies, it's very sad. Nationwide is a much needed two finger to the big banks despite those awful ads. I actually like them ads. I think they're actually quite clever. Where the guy who apparently, if you watch The Crown, he plays Prince Charles, King Charles, but it's Prince Charles he's playing. And he says, you know, I can put up with this space here in my office, and it's like the size of an entire shopping centre. He says, but we need to get rid of the space down there. And his assistant's like, what do you mean the branch? The branch? Yes, we don't need all the space, unnecessary, blah, blah, blah. And like, well, Nationwide aren't shutting branches. Yeah, we're not Nationwide, are we? Kind of thing. It's a very good advert. I like it. I like these negative advert things. SpaceX loses contact with Starship rocket after second launch attempt. We've already covered that. What was it? It was a unscheduled. Where are we? A rapid unscheduled disassembly, i.e., it blew the cup. Amazon Kindle Scribe versus Remarkable 2. The pen is mightier, but which one? I don't care. Iceland braces for huge eruption that could repeat 2010 ash cloud chaos. Oh God, no. Looks like they've actually resurfaced some of the road there. That seems a bit premature in my opinion. You can't see these pictures because this is breaking news. Trump celebrates release of violent January 6th tapes. Millions face double benefit squeeze as pensions boosted. Crane collapses as earthquake strikes southern Philippines. Oh dear. Boeing 787 plane lands on Antarctica in world's first landing on ice of that one. Allegedly, from an expert or source, Furious Rishi Rich spent all day in a foul mood after Supreme Court's Rwanda ruling. Oh, he were furious, he were. He were absolutely furious. Honda recalls nearly nearly 250,000 vehicles because bearing can fail and cause engines to run poorly or even stall. I always thought Honda were, well, no, never thought about Honda to be fair. What are we up to? I can't see what you're writing, by the way, because it's in my blind zone, because this is over the top of it. Hunt warns of difficult decisions on benefits as he mulls inheritance tax cuts. Israelis are protesting against Israel attacking Gaza because their family and friends are held hostage in Gaza, which makes sense, which is why I said it's very unlikely that Hamas is going to release hostages, because if this is going on with the hostages there, what's it going to be like if they give the hostages back? I'm not saying that I'm supporting their stance, but I can see where they're coming from if that's what they're thinking. Yeah, that's true. F1 blasted after outrageous Las Vegas Grand Prix incident sees driver punished twice. Again, I don't know if they mentioned it or not, but I quite like Formula One, so that's what I'm into. And the race at Las Vegas. And one of the cars, Ferrari, in practice, drove over a manhole, which got sucked out because obviously the cars are sucking themselves to the ground. So they sucked out this manhole, which obviously hadn't been welded in properly, and it basically destroyed the bottom of the car and the engine. So they had to pull over to the side, stop the practice, and everyone had to wait 5 hours for them to check all the other manhole covers and everything and make sure everything was okay. It was like millions of pounds worth of damage to the car, and not his fault at all. It was science, not his fault at all. And then he gets slammed with a 10-place grid penalty from where he finished, which was second in the later on today, not pole position, qualifying, and gets a 10-play grid drop because he's had to replace his engine, which was destroyed through no fault of his own. Yeah, Formula One again, just making it absolutely bloody wonderful for everyone. Not. Lord Sainsbury's daughter gives Labour 1 million in biggest ever donation by a female donor, says the Independent. Doesn't matter whether she's female or male or whatever. Workers trapped in collapsed road tunnel for 7th day. I've not heard of that one. And Martin Lewis issues warning to shoppers ahead of Black Friday. I didn't think it was Black Friday this week. It was Black Friday next week. Where are we? Have you ever thought of broadcasting Wigan Watch Live? You may get more views and can still edit to make a clip for later. I've done Wigan Watch Live. Oh, you've got an ad, sorry. I've done Wigan Watch Live, and I do them occasionally. Just before the blue and gold clock came down, I did a Wigan Watch then. How's Mum? Oh, not great. She had a fall last week, and last week, because it's still this week. She'll take her to hospital, then sent her home, and she was fine-ish. But yeah, it shook her a bit, and she's still not right now. But yeah, I'll go see her on Tuesday and see how she's doing. She also pressed her alarm, I assume accidentally, because they rang me up to tell me she'd pressed her alarm, and they let me know what went on. I never heard anything, so I assume that she's fine. But I can't ring her because she can't answer the phone. She holds it upside down or drops it. So anyway, it's me, Boris. I'm going back into the government as a advisor on ethics and family reunions, because I'm very good at this. Family, Boris. Right, shall I look at some stats then of what's gone on while we've been on? Well, we've had 7 likes. That's pretty good. Thank you very much. 44 views. There's 4 people on at the minute, but I've said it's nearly over, so people have dropped off. Lower than normal highest views, which was 11, which was just after 9 o'clock. 22 minutes average views. 7 likes. and we are a chat rate of 0, which is not good. But never mind, it's all fine. It's all fine. You've done a lot of chatting, and I like that. So big shout out to JT and Rach. I've done 2 hours, so you go on your break now if you want, JT. Angela O'Kane, Alan Barton, Lee H, Luke Williams, A Dotty Lady, who's in Betty Bobos now, I think, Laney, oh, I'm doing David Cameron impression. He knew he was coming back, that's what it was. Yeah. Deno, who's retracted all his things for some reason, don't know why. Didn't say anything bad, did he? No. Oh, well. Just cover your tracks. New contributor VBRL, Virtual Banger Racing League. So I assume it's someone I know from Wharton Stock Car Club, where I was chairman for a while, and then got squeezed out like a sponge. Although it's time to go anyway, I'll be honest. Yeah, so that's it. Are you still talking? Or have you all gone? Yeah. Okay then, so thank you very much for watching, if indeed you still are. And I'll be seeing you. Until next time. Bye.